I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, 33. And in the book, Reality Transurfing, the author, Vadim Zeland, speaks of this concept called a pendulum. The pendulum being a thought form that doesn't have any innate consciousness of its own, but yet comes to life the more energy people give to it. And in return, this pendulum, this thought form that doesn't have any consciousness of its own, it replaces the consciousness of the individual with the thought form of the pendulum, the movement. And we see this. We see this in politics. We see this in diet crazes. We see this in fashion. We see this in anything that is external to our being that we start to take on as an essential piece of our identity. This is how the pendulum works. And this video is going to be highly relevant because there's an election in the United States this year, and in election years the pendulum swings are very heavy, very intense, and emotions get heated. And the tendency for people to get emotional about something that is external to their being and start to believe that they are this movement, no matter what it shall be, we see consciousness start to dissipate. We start to see the consciousness lower when this happens. But when we understand how this happens, then we can have a moment of reflection and ask, when I'm getting opinionated, is that my true beliefs, or am I just falling for a pendulum? Am I just falling for this external thing? And I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. That's why I'm making these videos, because much of my suffering has been when I have given up my free will, I've given up my consciousness and allowed a external thought form or pendulum to take shape in me and essentially use my energy for it. And that has always resulted in suffering from my experience. I've always suffered from disconnection with myself and disconnection from others who were truly meaningful to me in my life. So talking about this concept, another term for a pendulum is an egregore. And egregores may be a little different, but similar idea. This thought form that is given life by the energy it harnesses, and then the individual is no more. The individual becomes like an NPC. We hear that word NPC tossed around all the time, and many people accuse others of being NPCs, yet their behavior is very NPC-like when they're just echoing phrases that they hear on social media. They regurgitate phrases and ideas that are not truly their own. That's one thing if you take an idea and you process it and you examine it and you hold it up to the light of consciousness, and if you find truth in it and you embody it, then it's yours. But that's not the world we live in. We live in a world where the pendulum swings have the power over the individual. And I believe in a great awakening, we have to learn how to individuate. We have to learn how to think for ourselves. We have to learn how to discern what is true, and we have to know our values. We have to learn who and what we truly are, and we have to embrace our power as an individual. I did a video called Shine, and one of the things I wanted to say in that video is that it's instinctual for a child to want to hide sometimes, to hide in the crowd, because if you stand out too much, you get made fun of. If you stand out too much, you get bullied. It happens quite a bit. And so we learn to hide, we learn to mix in with the crowd, because the lone wolf, from an evolutionary point, dies. The lone wolf can't survive on its own. But for a human being to really hit their full potential, we've got to be that lone wolf at times. We've got to learn how to be strong and individuate and know that we're going to be okay. Learn how to do it in the right way. And then when we learn who we are as an individual, then we have the truth of something genuine inside us that we can offer back. We can go back and share that with the tribe. That's the hero's journey. So I offer you, the viewer, however few, however many may watch these videos, whoever this resonates with, to reflect on who and what you really are. Have the courage to be an individual in a world where the pendulums get heavy and loud and the crowds can be overbearing. I encourage you to find strength in the truth of your soul and ask, who am I really, and what did I come here to do? And may I have the courage to be that and do that when the world goes mad. With that being said, I'll see you on the other side. Be well, my friends.